Hello everyone and welcome back to Overwatch. Well, we're not really in the game. We are currently on the Overwatch website and looking at the PTR notes for July 7th. So, let's go right through it. First of all, there's, of course, the new hero, Ana Amara, which is Pharah's mother. But I'll cover in another video. For now, we're just going to look at the patch notes. So first of all, if a match goes into overtime for more than 20 seconds, the fuse will now start to burn down more quickly. Players now respawn more slowly during overtime, increase spawn time by 2 seconds. That's kind of interesting. Means that attackers will have a easier time, especially in maps where the run time to go back on, let's say, capture point B in Temple of Anubis is so short. That would make it a lot easier for attackers. But I suppose we'll find out. Competitive play. Ooh. Can now only have one of each hero per team. Interesting. I'm not sure if this is just a test on the PTR or this is actually legit. It does say for more info, click here. I'll probably do that at the end just to check it out. Let's see, anything interesting here? Interesting, if you target someone with group up, it'll be I'm with you. That's pretty, it's a nice little touch. Alright. Okay, so for the hero balance, first of all, now self-healing will charge your ultimates, which means that most of the cost of ultimates has been increased. It says adjusted, but it's really increased because when you heal yourself you get it back, so ideally doesn't mean you're going to want to take damage to charge it faster, but in a way it almost means that. But I suppose we'll find out. So Bastion, who has a self-heal, now has an increased cost, only by 10%, so it's not too bad. He doesn't heal himself that often, so I assume it's an okay change. Probably won't change much. D.Va got a lot of changes. Defense Matrix has no cooldown and is now a sort of a toggle off, and it basically can last up to 4 seconds, and while you're not using it, it's charging up. And so I think it's probably gonna make her a lot stronger because Defense Matrix was really cool. You could block like an ability that was coming for you, but you were stuck because you could not attack during it. So now you could probably block whatever's coming at you if you see it in time, then cancel it, then start attacking again. And it's also bound to right mouse button, which is probably going to be good. I don't know if it's still going to be left shift as well. I suppose we'll find out. Her ultimate also got a buff, massive one indeed. It now costs 15% less, or charges faster if you'd rather. The explosion delay went down from 4 to 3 seconds, so much harder to avoid. Especially if you use the common trick to launch it in the air, and then when it falls down on the ground people are not sure where it is, and it'll explode much faster so that you have no time to react. And she no longer dies from being in the line of sight of the self-destruct, which is really cool. It means that you can effectively get out of the mech, then start fighting, possibly baiting your enemies so that they stay and die from the ultimate, which is usually a one-shot, except for some rare occasions like Shields, Reinhardt, Zarya. If you're far away enough, you might not die too, because the damage is a little lower at max range. So people like 200 plus HP heroes, especially like Roadhog and stuff, can survive it easily. Okay, Lucio sound barrier was increased by 10%. 10% seems a little low considering he heals himself a lot, so I'm assuming it's probably a small buff at the same time. And considering if the one hero per team stays, that means that Lucio and Mercy combo will probably be a little stronger than before, and without making two Lucios too strong because you can't do it anymore. That's cool. McCree, as you might know, he deals more damage at closer range. This is why recently we saw the flashbang combos stop being like right click after the flashbang and being take a second to aim for the head at close range, and I think it does like 120, I'm not sure, but it's a lot of damage, and it felt like more than right click. So definitely interesting. Now it does full damage at longer distance, which is unclear what that really means, but it also does less damage at extreme range, so that you can't just randomly snipe people that are barely visible. That's supposed to find out. Mercy got interesting changes. First of all, is her damage boost, which was buffed from 30 to 50% bonus damage on whoever you're targeting it to. And it does not stack with other Mercies, which will not be a worry in competitive, I'm assuming. Yeah, so basically the developer notes say that it was often better to use your own weapon, the blaster, instead of boosting someone else's damage, so they want to kind of trade that off, which is kind of weird. I felt like she should be a more active support. I know she's already very active, obviously, but she felt like she could have a choice of putting her gun out, and now it kind of feels like there's no need at all unless she's alone, or I don't know, you're the only one that sees something and want to shoot it. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Her ultimate cost was nerfed by a decent amount, presumably because it was already like insanely strong. There was a 100% pick rate on her in every competitive match for a reason, because it can literally, like a 4 plus people res on your team can essentially mean that all the other ultimates that were just launched to try and fend off the enemy was completely useless, which was really annoying. I always felt like if she had a change, it should be that it's actually a lower cooldown, but you can only res like 1 to 2 people. But I don't know. I guess it's actually a good change. She also can now move after using it, which is alright. They did say in the developer note that you would always rush in on an enemy's soul and then die instantly because you couldn't move after using your res, which was kind of annoying. So now you can use it and try to defend yourself by moving. Probably gonna die anyway if your whole team is dead anyway, but I suppose we'll find out. And Guardian Angel, which is the rush, is also instantly reset on use, so maybe, I don't know, maybe let's say you rush in and your Pharaoh is still alive, you could rush back to the Pharaoh in the air and be relatively safe. But I suppose we'll find out. Roadhog, the cost of his ultimate was increased by 45%, which seems like an insane amount, but considering that he heals himself a lot, it might be justified. I feel like it might be a little too much, but we'll see. He heals for 300, which is half his HP. But it's unclear yet how much percent you get per heal. So we'll find out. Soldier 76. Heavy pulse rifle spread recovery will begin after a short delay rather than instantly. So I'm assuming this is linked to the... You would shoot, I believe it's 4 bullets as 76, and then you could stop very quickly and then attack again, and you would not lose the nearly perfect range that he has. But this is kind of interesting, and now he also has an increased cost to his ultimate because he can heal himself with his... I don't actually know what it's called. Let's just call it the heal bomb. Okay, Zenyatta was seemingly very buffed, potentially to compete with Lucio and Mercy, which is very understandable. Recently, he was not really buffed, but in a way, not as weak, because Widowmaker, which used to do 150 damage, which was his whole HP, now only does 120 in body shots, but the same damage in headshots, which would still kill a squishy anyway. But now he actually has 50 health and 150 shield. That actually surprises me a little bit. I thought that if they increase his health, it would be his natural health and not his shield. So that's much better. If you guys don't know, shields actually regen after a few seconds of non-combat. So if he goes to, let's say, 49 HP, he's going to regen his whole shield and be back to 199. As opposed to, well, actually, I don't know how much that would be if he still had his old HP. 149. I mean, that's a decent buff. And now it also means that he will be much more efficient in team fights, where he would usually almost get picked off just by AoEs around, which was really annoying. His Orb of Discord and Orb of Harmony was also buffed. The projectile speed has been increased. Kind of an interesting buff. I'm not sure how this will apply. I know that the increased speed on the Orb of Harmony is very good. I kind of always thought that as soon as you cast it, the travel time would still be healing the target, but I guess this change means that it wasn't. So, not a fan. It may also mean that if you manage to, let's say, hold on your right click and try to snipe someone from far away, maybe you could use your Orb of Discord and they would get it before the last of your 5 shots and take more damage, but that would require testing, which you can do right now, by the way. The PTR is up. This is the PTR patch notes, not the real ones. Well, not the real ones, the real live realms. And Transcendence now increases your movement speed to double. Interesting change. I'm not saying it's too overpowered. I feel like he did lack a little bit of mobility when he was trying to follow heroes that actually moved faster, so you kind of needed a Lucio to keep up. But I don't know. So this is a good change, and I'll also increase the healing amount from 200 to 300 per second. That's kind of a weird change. I always felt like his ultimate was enough healing, because the main thing when you would use his ult is basically make everyone immune aside from one-shots, which would mostly be by Widowmaker enemies, but I don't know, suppose we'll find out. And the rest seems to be social features, a few bug fixes. Feel free to pause if you want to see any differences.